One, the time is 6 p.m. I would like to be mindful of our time. We will review our legislative agenda during a legislative caucus, and then we will call the meeting to order. I would like to note for the meeting record that Harrisburg City Council hosted an executive session prior to this special legislative session to discuss legal matters. So I will call the meeting to order. Mr. Truesdale will lead the roll call. The invocation this evening will be led by Councilwoman Rawls. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Rodriguez, who is joining us virtually. Councilwoman Daniels is virtual, and Vice President Green is virtual as well. We do not have any communications this evening. We will then move to courtesy of the floor, followed by discussion of one resolution. That's Resolution 47 of 2024. Following our discussion, we will then vote upon this resolution. Then we will move to old business. Is there any old business for discussion, council members? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Any new business?
Yes, President Hill, I would like to talk to the community about the youth graffiti cleanup crew that is happening currently right now.
Okay. Any other new business? Okay. Then we will adjourn. Okay, the time is 6:01 p.m. I'd like to call our special legislative session to order. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Daniels,
Here.
Ms. Davis,
Present.
Ms. Green,
Present.
Mr. Jones,
Here.
Ms. Rawls,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Hill.
Present. Thank you. The invocation this evening will be led by Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you, President Hill. I would just like us to have on our thoughts and on our hearts anybody who's going through a tough time currently in Harrisburg or even out in our country, in the United States, especially with the mass shooting that just happened in New York, keeping those families in our prayers, and just everybody going through a tough time or having a moment where they need our thoughts and our prayers. Please, let's just take a moment for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rawls. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. May we all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. We do not have any communications this evening. We will move to courtesy of the floor. Just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. Please state your name and address for the meeting record. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your address, please share the vicinity in which you live within the city. You will have 4 minutes to share your comments. Mr. Truesdale will serve as our timekeeper. I will begin to my right. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment? Seeing and hearing no one. Anyone in the middle section?
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Rhonda Mays. I'm the Executive Director of the Fair Housing Council of the Capital Region. We are located on 6th and Maclay in Harrisburg. And I just wanted to speak before Council this evening and the Honorable Gloria Martin Roberts about the need, the necessity of us ensuring that the organizations that are in need of these CDBG funds from 2024 are, we have whatever issues the city is facing with allocating those funds and distributing them to the organizations, that they are resolved as quickly as possible. In the case of the Fair Housing Council, which is really the only organization that I can speak to, we all realize that there is a housing crisis, not just in the city of Harrisburg, but throughout our nation. I can't speak to, what's going on outside of Cumberland, Dauphin, and Perry counties, but I can say that on a daily basis, we get phone calls and visitors to our organization that they really require help. We try to intervene when we can. I would like to think that without intervention by Fair Housing Council and the Fair Housing Council counselors, that we would see, particularly in the Harrisburg community, probably a lot more evictions than we already are, a lot more homelessness than we already are. It's because of our intervention and also collaboration with other housing-focused agencies and state agencies, the county agencies, that we're able to stem the tide a little bit. But in order to continue to do this work, we need the funds. We're not asking for anything for free. We are putting in extraordinary effort and extraordinary hours. We are doing the work. So all that we ask is that the city of Harrisburg, that supports us, their fair share of support. We're not asking for more than anyone else. We don't believe that we're more important than anyone else. We're all important, but we are all working very, very hard and diligently to make sure that the housing crisis doesn't get any worse than it already is. So I don't know what, the technical issues are within the city, but I do know that as far as my organization is concerned, we're about at the, we're pretty much in the fourth quarter, going into the fourth quarter, the end of the year, if we're looking at the federal fiscal year. And, our HUD funds are about depleted. Our county CDBG funds are about depleted. What we are relying on right now to continue our work is the city to come through. So I would just like to encourage all of us to keep working, try to get past whatever difficulties there are, whatever barriers there are that's keeping the funds from going out to, the people in the city, the people in our community that are in most need of our assistance, no matter which organization that, we are. I mean, housing is pretty much the fundamental need for folks. Recreational programs and other programs are fine, and they're great, and they have their place. But if a child doesn't know where they're going home to that night, or they're going home and they open up the door and their parent is sitting in there crying because they have to move, that's an issue. We try to stop those kinds of issues. And if we cannot stop it, then we work with an organization that can get them rehoused. But it all starts with the council a lot of times. So the money is put to good use. We're one of the only organizations that also put homeowners into the community through our education and qualifying people for down payment assistance. So whatever the city brings to us, and it's not, we don't build houses. People go out and they purchase their home just like any of you did, anyone else does, and they qualify, and home ownership isn't an instant thing. It takes time. It's a process.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Mays.
I just want to encourage everyone to help us to help the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone to my left that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, Council President and council members. I stand before you tonight to address an urgent and significant violation of Harrisburg's municipal law that demands your immediate attention and action. For more than 420 days, Ms. Gloria Martin Roberts has served as interim director of the Department of Building and Housing Development, directly contravening Harrisburg Administrative Code Section 2-01.5C. This is not merely an administrative oversight. It constitutes a clear and ongoing breach of our city's legal framework resulting in substantial financial loss to the taxpayers. The law is explicit. Section 2-301.5C states, the mayor may appoint an acting department head for a period of not exceeding 120 days unless the appointment of such acting department head has received the advice and consent of city council. Ms. Martin Roberts, her appointment on June 3rd, 2024, her lawful term expired on October 1st, 2024, yet she has continued to serve without the requisite approval of city council for more than 300 additional days. Further exacerbating this breach, the same statute unequivocally limits the total duration of acting appointments. No individual may serve as acting department head for more than 120 days during the mayor's term in office. Ms. Martin Roberts' tenure has now exceeded 3 times that statutory maximum. Under Pennsylvania law, specifically Title 11, Section 10902B1, the city cannot legally compensate an officer unless the appointment complies fully with statutory requirements. Every payment issued to Ms. Roberts since October 1st, 2024 constitutes an unlawful expenditure. As city council, your role and responsibility is to uphold the integrity of our municipal government our municipal government are clear. Under Section 409 of the optional third-class city charter law, you possess both the authority and duty to investigate this violation. You can and must require sworn explanations from the mayor, city solicitor, and Mrs. Martin Roberts about the prolonged violation of this law. Established Pennsylvania case law, notably the appeal of Tadeo and Funjo versus Luzerne County, confirms that appointments exceeding statutory authority avoid the inception void ab initio. Consequently, Ms. Martin Roberts' role has been legally invalid since October 2nd, 2024. Each day this illegal appointment continues further compounds the city's exposure. I strongly urge City Council to immediately take the following corrective actions. Establish a formal investigation committee empowered to secure sworn statements from the mayor, city solicitor, Ms. Martin Roberts, thoroughly examine circumstances that allow this breach to even persist, Pass a clear and unequivocal resolution condemning the violation, immediately terminating the unlawful appointment, initiating proceeds to recover and properly disperse taxpayer funds. Institute robust financial safeguards to prevent specific violations, including mandatory city council notification of all acting appointments and automatic cessation of compensation after the 120-day statutory limit. Refer this matter to the Pennsylvania Attorney General and any relevant oversight authorities to investigate potential criminal activity or public corruption. The mayor and the city solicitor have demonstrably failed in their fundamental responsibilities to uphold our laws, causing substantial financial harm to this city. This is not a matter directed personally at Mrs. Martin Roberts. Rather, it is about preserving the rule of law, safeguarding taxpayers' resources, and ensuring governmental accountability. Should the council fail to act promptly, private citizens will be compelled to pursue legal remedies through quo warranto actions. Good. Taxpayers' lawsuits and mandamus filings to enforce compliance and recover misappropriated funds. However, you have both the authority and obligation to rectify this proactively. The citizens of Harrisburg deserve transparent governance, adherence to the law, and accountability when violations occur. They rightfully demand restitution for every tax dollar and properly expended. I implore you to fulfill your oversight duties, rigorously, thoroughly investigate this clear legal breach, and act swiftly to correct it. The integrity of our municipal governance and the public trust depends significantly on your response to this critical matter. Thank you for your attention and commitment to upholding our city's laws. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to offer public comment before we move forward with our meeting agenda? Seeing and hearing none. The resolution for discussion this evening is Resolution 47 of 2025. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 47, 2025, a resolution approving the 2025 Annual Action Plan for the City of Harrisburg for the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnerships, and Emergency Solutions Grant Programs.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules for discussion.
So
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I will defer to our Building and Housing Committee Chair, Councilwoman Davis, to lead discussion.
Thank you, President Hill. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay, so could everyone introduce yourselves and just briefly give us an overview of the annual action plan or any other comments that you want to express?
Okay, thank you. I'm Gloria Martin Roberts, Interim Director of Economic Development and Building and Housing. And to my right is Ashima Bushy. She is a project manager for Community Development Block Grant and ESG. And to my left, I have Patrice Dawkins, who is also project manager for Home and ESG. Both of them will be participating this evening in the presentation. Before we go to our overview of the PowerPoint for the 2025 annual plan, I just want to say that we provided you with a list of projects that has been recommended to the mayor to focus on for the 2025 annual plan and funding. And because we don't know the nature of what's coming out of Washington at any given time, we do know that we have an array of major projects that need to be addressed in terms of infrastructure and facility improvement. And at any given time, we know that the president can sign an executive order to stop these funds, to pull them back or whatever, but we don't want to be at risk of having major infrastructure and public facility improvements and not having money to address it. So we're recommending for 2025 that we address those issues. I have asked Sidatosh, Kyle Jenkins is on the screen, and I believe that Kyle wants to make a comment also.
Good evening, Council. I appreciate your time this evening. I just wanted to emphasize what Ms. Gloria has stated. So the city has to prepare a consolidated plan, which is a 5-year plan for the funding sources that we're discussing today, CDBG, Home, and the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. And every year of the consolidated plan, the city also submits to HUD an annual action plan. That annual action plan really is essentially the updated version of the plan for that given year. And it's essentially, there are some narratives and other aspects that we look at and we discuss with HUD and provide to HUD, but mostly it's a budget for that fiscal year of funding. So this particular fiscal year we're talking about is the 2025 fiscal year grants that the city would receive. And we've been seeing a common thread with a lot of our clients nationally, with them really wanting to protect their funds for more internal city infrastructure and public facility type properties. And we say public facility, we mean community buildings, parks, recreation centers. All of these are considered public facilities, including firehouses and fire stations as well. Infrastructure, HUD more thinks of as water and sewer type projects, road resurfacing, sidewalk improvement, curb cuts, those types of things. So just wanted to emphasize that we are really seeing this nationally with kind of the change that the new administration has brought in with grant funding and the potential of those funds, being limited or executive orders causing compliance issues or pieces of compliance that the city has to keep up with in this new environment that we have. So that's really all I wanted to say, was just to emphasize what Ms. Gloria is saying here today. We really recommend, as a consultant for the city and the department, that the city focus, at least on this particular action plan year, on improving these public facilities and getting these infrastructure projects completed with the funds that the city is being awarded by HUD for this allocation.
Okay, thank you for that. Did Ms. Bushy, did I pronounce your name? Buzzy, correct? Okay, did you want to make any comments? Okay,
Not as of yet. I'll let Ms. Gloria proceed with
Okay.
the presentation
Okay.
and then I'll come in.
oh, okay, go ahead, Miss Gloria, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you weren't finished.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The plan. This is what you'll see on the screen. I'm sorry, I'm gonna use this mic here. What you will see on the screen is what we presented to the public. We had our required public meeting, and I believe all of you were notified of that. I sent it out to you. But we held that on June 26th at 5:30 here at Council Chamber. After the public hearing, there has to be a 30-day comment period. That time expired yesterday at 5 o'clock. What will happen now is, should you approve this plan, it will then go to HUD, and HUD has 45 days from the date they receive it to respond to our plan. So the consolidated plan and annual action plan, CDBG, home, and ESG is administered through the consolidated plan. It's called the CON plan, and managed through HUD's integrated disbursement and information system that's called IDIS online. The CON plan and annual action plans help grantees determine activities and organizations to fund in the coming years. The CON plan is 5 years in length and describes community needs, resources, priorities, and proposed activities to be undertaken under certain HUD programs. The annual action plan. The annual action plan, which we abbreviate to AAP, is submitted to HUD every year during the 5-year CON plan cycle. We're in the third, this will be the third year. As AAP describes the specific plan usage for HUD programs as well as certain other program requirements. For the 2025 action plan funds, funding for community development block grant, $1,806,820. Program income represents $15,000, and that's for residents who participate in our home programs that leave their home before the 5 years is up, and they have to pay back. The home program was $469,627.19. And again, that program income is for liens that are on the homes that homeowners have to pay back should they leave their homes within or before the 5-year requirement. ESG funds, as you already know, are for the unhoused. Those are the dollars that go for the homeless population. And that's $163,869. Patrice?
This is the strategic plan priority needs. Priority needs from 2023 to 2027 consolidated plan. Priority needs, number 1 is talking about public facilities and infrastructure to improve and expand public infrastructure and facilities around the city. Number 2, public services, meaning it could be trash or anything. Number 3, removal of slum and blight, demolition and blight removal in the areas that are needed to homes or buildings. Number 4, affordable housing development, anything dealing with rental housing development, home ownership housing development, and owner-occupied housing rehab. Number 5 is homeless and housing services, reduce homelessness, which is dealing with cash with ESG with the homelessness. And number 6 is the Section 108 loan repayment.
And that loan repayment, if you can recall, is the building on Cameron and Her Street. That was a loan that was taken out and was never paid. And I believe the person that developed that building was prosecuted for wrongdoing. So we'll have that loan paid off next year.
Okay, and we have the 2025 annual action plan goals. Column 1 is the 2025 goals, and then the second column is like the goal outcomes that we, expect. 1A, improve and expand public infrastructure. The goal is to have 5,000 low to moderate income persons assisted. 1B, improve access to public facilities with the goal of having 20,000 low to moderate income persons assisted. It should be 2A. 2A, demolition and blight removal. And the goal is to demolish 4 buildings in need of demolition. 4A, rental housing development. 2 rental units constructed is the goal, to have 2 rental units constructed. 4B, home ownership housing development with the goal of having 2 homeowner housing units constructed. 4C, owner-occupied housing rehab. The goal is to have 30 homeowner units rehabilitated. 5A, reduce homelessness using the ESG funds. The goal is to have 500 persons experiencing homelessness provided with shelter and 15 persons at risk of homelessness provided prevention services. 6A, Section 108 loan repayment, which is marked as not applicable because we plan to have this paid off by next year. Thank you.
As you can see, for the 2025 action plan projects and funding, I'm sure you don't want me to read all these figures, but you can see the funding for administration, public facilities and infrastructure, housing programs, emergency demolition, Section 108 loan payments, home administration, our home CHODO set aside, home non-CHODO housing development, and ESG 2025. And again, the ESG is the Emergency Solutions Grant for the unhoused population.
Are you finished, Director Martin
I'm
Roberts?
finished. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I don't have any questions at this time, but I'll open up the floor to my colleagues. And I'll start with Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Councilwoman Davis. Yeah, my question is not really a question, more so of a statement. I think this is long overdue of how CDBG funds should be used. So I do have a question intertwined with this. We've seen previous administrations use the CDBG funding to build infrastructure in the city. So I think this is long overdue, as I stated. So, are you still going to be looking to give nonprofits, or are you just excluding them completely when it comes to the CDBG, ESG, and well, not ESG, but yeah, ESG too?
Good question. The money is being targeted toward infrastructure and public facilities, the entire pot of money. If you can see from that list, we have some very expensive items on this list that really, really require things like street paving, as you all know, because you live in the city. You know, some of the main streets might be okay, but the secondary streets are the ones that are oftentimes ignored. Yeah, we have a lot of holes and so forth and so on. It's amazing when I met with some of these departments. It's amazing the price tag on the cutouts that we have to do, you know, to comply with ADA, and then pour concrete for them and so forth and so on. So these are very expensive projects that we're looking at, and this seems to be the norm, like I said, around the country, because we know that if we don't handle these problems now, we just can't predict what the federal government is going to do, and we need to get these things done.
So is that some of those prices are pretty high? With us having our own equipment and ability to be able to pave streets, does that reduce the cost in any way?
It does, yes, it does.
Does it reflect in these numbers?
I'm sorry?
Does it reflect in the numbers that you're showing?
Not necessarily, because they haven't given me an absolute number on the projects. They just pretty much gave me estimates of what each cutout would cost, or the paving of streets would cost, and so forth. Because they still have to buy the materials and so forth for that.
Now, I also see that these are recommendations. Is there actual plan to make sure that these things are implemented? And if so, which would be tackling first?
Well, first of all, yes, there will be a plan. This will be put in plan format, and because it will have to come to you also with a dollar amount for your approval. And in terms of prioritizing these, we haven't. We have to sit with the mayor. We sat with the mayor, went over the recommendations. We have to sit to decide what's priority. In that meeting will probably be all these department heads to tell us, like ADA, we probably have a timeline on when we have to get this stuff done. And so we'll be sitting down with her and doing that.
All right, no further questions.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Jones. Councilman Rodriguez, do you have any questions?
No questions at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you, Chair Davis. Thank you, all three of you, for being here tonight and presenting this to us. It was, to me, as I looked at it, very strong plan, and it has a great chance to make a huge impact, especially on our infrastructure. So with that, I had two questions. My first one was, because I think in order for it to be a success is, one, to make sure we're transparent with the residents as we dive into the plan and as we execute things for the plan as they get finished. So is there any metrics you'll be using to be transparent with the community other than them just seeing things being done? But is there any other way you'll communicate with them?
Well, personally, I think the Channel 20 is underutilized in terms of informing our community about the different things that we're doing. So that would be an avenue. But we also have discussed putting inserts in utility bills and so forth, so that people know, that we're paving streets, that we're brightening up their streets. Because one of the problems is, the criminal element out here, and the lights are dim almost everywhere in the city. We're putting brighter bulbs in the streets. And by the way, we don't have to replace the poles. We just actually have to replace the bulbs, and also putting cameras throughout the city. Now, some people contend that we should just focus on the high crime areas, but as you all know, criminals can be comfortable with the nice, quiet neighborhoods too, because they feel like we're not paying attention. So we're talking about doing this throughout the city, not just in the high crime areas. So we want to notify people of these changes and why all of a sudden their streets are brighter and so forth. So yes, we are going to do all the means possible of printed and electronic media to put out the different things that we're going to be doing.
I think that would be great, especially using Channel 20, as you suggested, and inserts, and also putting cameras, not just in high crime areas, but, throughout the city and in certain spots. So I think that's a great idea. My last question, I just wanted some clarification on providing 500, for the homeless. Was it 500 homeless shelters? Not 500 homeless shelters, but I think it was providing 500 persons, yes, with shelter. So just some clarification, providing them with shelters, are we counting that as that small period of time in the winter or when it's really hot out, or is it trying to provide them with in instance forever homes maybe, and also providing them with mental health services they need? Is this providing them with services where we're trying to not just get them off the street but keep them off the street, or are we just measuring, I provided them with housing for these 3 months, so they're going on my list as saying I got it done? So just clarification, we're providing it for how long?
Well, as you recall, the council approved for CCU and Downtown Daily Bread, approved them for additional money so that the homeless can have shelter throughout the year. The problem is we don't have a lot of organizations that have the space to do that. Now, the county just bought property, and they're going to be moving the homeless population from down by PennDOT to another location. We're still in talks about whether or not people should be going into tents, or whether there's some other type of housing that can be erected there to give them more stable coverage, if you will. But that has not been defined yet.
Okay, so as it goes, when you get the plan, then it'll come back in front of us and we'll see it to see what that exactly means for the 500 people that are is our goal to help in the shelter.
Well, let me say this. Remember that we don't provide that direct services. Cash facilitates
Correct.
that. And Cash is representative of all the organizations that provide, excuse me, some kind of support for the unhoused population. So these are their numbers, and this is what they anticipate doing.
Okay. Yes, I do know Cash. Sorry, I always like to say cash. But I do know that they provide those services. I just didn't know what other clarifications you had on that.
Right.
So will they come in front of us and to speak about it?
They can, certainly, and they probably will want to when you receive, the legislation on the funding and so forth.
Yes, I think we would enjoy that, just to know just to clarify what that looks like, because the community is going to ask us,
Sure.
and there's that transparent piece. So yes, thank you for answering. That's all I had.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, thank you. Vice President Hill.
Thank you.
Questions?
Just to follow up on Councilwoman Rawls's point, we did have the county come and speak before with former Director Hill to discuss cash and the unhoused population and assistance they provided. I don't have any questions. Thank you for your presentation. I just wanted to read the document that was shared just so everybody has some context of what we're talking about. It's dated July 29th, 2025, 2025 Annual Action Plan Infrastructure and Public Facility Improvements. Listed below are infrastructure and public facility improvements recommended by departments including Public Works, Parks and Recreation, Public Safety, and Facilities. Number 1, install cameras in high crime areas. Number 2, replace existing street light bulbs with more efficient bulbs. Number 3, develop additional ADA compliant sidewalks. Number 4, rehab buildings and homes that have been vacant and blighted for a long time. Number 5, beautify homes potentially through the facade improvement program. Number 6, repair sidewalks that have been damaged by tree roots. Number 7, remove and or replace unsafe and dying trees. Number 8, resurface major and side roads, ensuring correct and visible lane markings. Number 9, implement more speed bumps and enhance traffic light systems. Number 10, mend the doors, windows, and HVAC system of the Broad Street Market Stone Building. And number 11, provide additional funds for HRP or Home Rehabilitation Program to address the increase in applicants. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Vice President Green. Questions?
Thank you all for being here tonight. I don't have any questions. The one that I had was asked earlier in the evening. So thank you.
Okay, and Councilwoman Daniels is not here with us. Oh, Councilwoman Daniels, questions?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I don't have any questions either. I'm actually pretty pleased to see this facilities improvement list. The community has been asking about what's going to go on with the sidewalks, the potholes, and, I've seen a lot of improvement in the city. I don't know about nobody else over the last 3-4 years. The blight is down, the garbage is down. And I'm happy to know that we're going to continue to move forward with protecting our community and doing what we need to do to make sure that our residents are safe. And all of these things are important. So I fully am pleased with the work that has gone into the annual action plan. And so that's all I have. And back to you, President Hill.
I believe Councilman Jones had another question.
Yes, thank you, President Hill. I would love to agree with Councilwoman Davis, but I just can't. Our streets are horrible, and it still is a lot of trash in the city. Not saying that it's not being tended to, but it's not all peaches and cream. But my question is, on this number 1 on your action plan. That was a recommendation. And here it says install cameras on high crime areas. But I just heard you say that you want to do the city entirely. That was something that I would be opposed to. But I do think lighting up these areas would help. But I don't think everyone wants to live under surveillance. But in these high crime areas, there was something that I proposed last year, or earlier this year, to the police department, and it actually had a demo and actually taking a page out of York's book where you have these mobile CCTV cameras that can move around in different neighborhoods instead of wiring the whole neighborhood. And I would love to see where those funds would come from if we look like we're going to put cameras all through the city. I just think it would be an expensive price tag, and I think everyone wouldn't be in agreement to that. I think they had issues with the ring cameras. A lot of people don't, it's an invasion of some privacy. Though we do want to keep people safe, I think we should really consider that. I do like the idea of in the high crime areas and the way that they did it in York. I watched Commissioner Muldrow when he announced these cameras, and I was like, why is he telling them these cameras are coming? But it actually worked because they said they're just going to move from one neighborhood to the next. So when they did that, they moved the cameras where they went. So it's kind of like just chasing them around. I think something like that would be more efficient. These machines are very durable. They can go through all types of weather. They don't need to be attached to any infrastructure. They have solar power. It's just something I think that we should actually continue to discuss and look at versus wiring the whole city. I think that would be, I know Lancaster is doing it, but I think it's costing them like $4,000 per camera. And then we have to think about manning those cameras. We have to think about the maintenance, all of that stuff, having someone in that department to watch all of this stuff, where I think the other option is, like I said, getting those portable cameras that move around throughout the city. So that's just one thing. The other thing.
Excuse me, but would you be willing to share that information on who gave you the presentation?
Absolutely.
So that perhaps we could have public safety personnel and other department heads and staff to be there to actually see this.
Well, there was
as
a
an
demo.
option.
There was a demo with Commissioner Carter, Patah, and Deputy Chief Young. I definitely actually had a demo. I think our deputy. Yeah, we were all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this was something that was definitely presented early on. Go ahead.
I think there is an exploration of getting one to start already and to see how it functions for the city.
Okay.
So that was my general
Okay,
understanding.
then I still think that it would be a good idea for other staff to see it.
Oh, yeah.
So that we
Me too.
understand exactly what you're talking about and so forth, and, be able to relate that cost versus, as you said, putting permanent cameras up and which one is the most cost effective. Because again, we have to send data to HUD and justifying how we spend these dollars and so forth. So I think you make a good point. If it's something that's not going to create a burden on having staff to sit and watch cameras or, have, some of these criminals may be able to even shoot out stuff. I don't know. But I wouldn't put it past them. So, just being able to have something mobile and whatever may be a good idea. But I'd like to see it anyway.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things too, when you speaking of that though, the cameras it's a 360-degree view. It stores up maybe 6 months of data, and if they do shoot it out, the company will replace it. But you also catch them doing it. So, these things are something that I think that we should really look at. Okay. But while I have you here, I do want to ask, when it comes to the money for housing people to repair their homes, right? I think that it came out as first come, first serve, if I'm correct.
It goes by the date we receive their applications.
Okay. Yes, because I got you here. You're a very hard person to catch up with.
I'm here every day.
Yeah. There's been some grievances about how it's moving for some of the residents that have put in applications and they knew where their number was. Say someone was at 67, but then you're at 87, and they just wanted to know how is that happening? How are they getting overlooked?
It goes by the date we receive them, and we record everything. We document everything, and it also depends on whether those persons, especially one that put through grievances, are they providing us with all the documentation that we ask for? Oftentimes, that's the issue. They may put their application in, but they haven't provided us with documentation that's required by us. And so we have to go back and ask them for documentation. And believe it or not, sometimes it can be months before people respond to that. And they still think that we're supposed to hold up the next person in line until they get their documentation in, and we don't do that.
Yeah, well, some of them actually did have all of their paperwork in, because I helped, and I've actually spoke to you with a couple of individuals that did have their paperwork correct and got letters and communications from you.
I don't recall speaking to you about this.
Okay, well.
Ever.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I do. I remember sitting in your office and being on a call during a speaker, and actually had the individuals on the phone, if you can recall, like maybe you were a couple months in.
Oh, last year.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's what we spent about 700,000 so far out of the 5 million. That's what's been out the door so far.
Mm-hmm. And remember one thing: we are sharing the contractors, the ones that are certified by our system here, codes. We're sharing the same contractors for the HRP, for the ARPA home, and lead. So, and we can only use those who have been certified through the city. So, we're stretched with contractors, and we're always soliciting, asking for new contractors to come in. But so we have that setback also. But we're still moving ahead on these programs as quickly as possible. I contend, because we do document everything, if a person sends in their application and their number 66, when we get to number 66, we take care of them. We don't hold anybody's application, but we take this very seriously. We are here to serve them. We want their houses to be code safe. So we don't have any investment on not giving a person a qualified home, what they need. None. That's not who we are.
Okay. Well, I'll just have those individuals reach back out to you. And I actually do have their information, and I do see the correspondence between your department and them. So I guess they just wanted some clarification on that.
I'd gladly address that.
All right. Mm-hmm. I'll make sure I get those emails over to you. No further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones, again, and thank you again for being here and for the work that you're doing. Every year the holes show up after the winter, the salt and everything, and they are pretty bad. There's and one other thing I like to see on this list is perhaps we could maybe get some street signs. There's a lot of streets that don't have signs, and some residents have asked me,
Stop signs?
No, not stop signs, street signs, the names of the streets, the street signs. And you mentioned that the various departments will be coming before us or you will get a list of the line items, okay. Important, very important. But otherwise, again, I don't see a lot of burnt up, boarded up buildings anymore. It was driving me crazy in this city for a while. And they're down. Now there's spaces there, but, and I also want to thank the organizations that are out there helping us to clean up the city. The ministry on 13th Street, trying to think of the name of it, but Hotspot Saturdays and other organizations that are out there helping us, clean up. So I'm really grateful for Tanner's ministry, yes, that they're out there. They were in our neighborhood a couple weeks ago, and I've seen them in other neighborhoods. And so I'm happy that we're all working together and we're all, concerned about the city. And that as when these things are addressed, it's going to be even better and safer for our residents and brighter. Thank you for your
You're welcome. Thank
presentation.
you.
And thank you, President Hill. I don't have anything else.
Thank you. Are there any further questions, comments, or concerns before we resume our legislative session? Okay, seeing and hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to resume our special legislative session.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. So before us, we have Resolution 47 of 2025. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it one more time?
Resolution 47, 2025, a resolution approving the 2025 Annual Action Plan for the City of Harrisburg for the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnerships, and Emergency Solutions Grant Programs.
Thank you. And again, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 47 of 2025? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Daniels,
No.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yay.
Ms. Rawls,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Resolution 47, 2025 passes by a vote of 6-1.
Thank you. Is there any old business for discussion, council members? Seeing and hearing none, new business, Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you, President Hill. I just wanted to share some exciting news with the community and anybody who's here tonight as well. A couple months back, Councilman Jones had organized a community cleanup. And through that community cleanup, there were some partnerships formed with residents who had a great idea of cleanup graffiti throughout the city. They showed us how to do it at the community cleanup using elephant snot, which was something new to me, and a power washer. And my kids even took part, and kids even in the neighborhood, as it was being cleaned up, they came around and they wanted to help. So two residents from the community, Ed and Mark, which I always say residents have the best ideas, and we need to listen to them more. And our job as council and as administration is to bring their thoughts and ideas to fruition and not say no, but give a yes of how can we get this done. So with, of course, the help from Councilman Jones, because he had started the community cleanup that day, our other council members and President Hill, we were able to sit and work with ETC and Mr. Watson and our sanitation department.
You say what that is? So
ET.
Environmental Team Corps.
Yes, if you want that. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Environmental Team Corps. I'm sorry, because I do those acronyms. Thank you. Environmental Team Corps, which are our youth who goes around. They clean up the city, but they're from the city. So that's where the huge impact comes from. So the help with Mr. Watson, we were able to form two groups of students who are currently going around and they are cleaning up graffiti in their own city. And I just think that's so powerful to have them out there doing the work in their own city where they can help and learn a new skill. They're going to forever, I was talking to them today and I said, you will forever know how to power wash. And I said, you can do this to your own home. You can own your own power washing business or graffiti cleanup business. And they really had a good time. I can't wait to you all see the pictures of it in our recap for council. But I just wanted to share that you will see these kiddos out and about cleaning up their city and just still just pushing youth to gain new skills all the time. So I just wanted to say that went from paper to real life action. So thank you, and thank you to the community and council members for pushing that through, and the sanitation department, because we couldn't have did it without all of us working together. So thank you. And Public Works. Public Works. I have Councilman Jones has a few words to say. No, but thank you. Yes, Public Works, especially Kevin Jackson, he's been very helpful. That's who's been in the meetings with us, making sure we get the materials for those things. So I just want to give credit where credit's due and flowers where they need to be given. So thank you, everybody. Administration too. I said administration. I mentioned administration, which deals with Public Works.
Well,
Thank
thank you. That's awesome. Great things
Yes.
happen when we work together.
Yes, thank you. And that's my whole point with that too. Do you want to add anything, Councilman Jones?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
No, I just really think that I'm happy about this, and it's a start. We were out there on site today in the community, and Councilwoman Ross hit me with some water, one of the pressure hoses. So we do have some adjustments that we have to make, just some fittings that have to go on. But again, we really do have to thank the administration side for making readily available some of the tools and things that we needed for those young people, making sure they have protective gear, gloves, everything that they need to be safe, all the way down to rollers. And also, we got to thank the Harrisburg Fire Department today because
They came in and jumped in at a moment's notice when we didn't have a correct valve, and we were right there at the Allison Hill Center. So Councilman Jones walked around there, talked to them. They pulled their truck back. They connected the hose to their fire truck, and we were in business. So I think it was just another moment of like the youth seeing people work together, right? Like we are their role models. They will never forget how they watch the community work together. So yes, thank you, Fire Department. That was in my head too, because you all really came through today. We just need everybody working together. That's it. So thank you.
And I will close by saying, it was just, it's always a joy to see collaborative efforts instead of us just talking about it, actually doing it and implementing it. And speaking with those young people, there was a couple marks that they couldn't get off, and I was like, well, why do you think this didn't come off? And, he quickly got it. It was like, we didn't put enough elephant in snot. We didn't apply enough. So I was like, yeah. But I also explained to them what would happen if they were on a job. Because it takes about 45 minutes once the elephant snot is on the graffiti to set, and then you can come back with the power washer to get it off. And, yes.
Elephant what?
Snot. It's actually a chemical.
You did say that, huh?
Oh yeah, that's what it's called on the container.
Yeah.
Elephant, and it's snotty. It's thick and gooey and
But it
nasty.
works.
But it works. And we can't forget the CSAs. They were out there today too. They rolled some on there. CSA Brooks, he had pictures of other spots where there's graffiti, and he's going to share them with Mr. Watson, or he already has, for the crews to go around him. So I cannot forget the CSAs because they were out there today. Community effort. It truly was. So yes, and it's really it's not real elephant snot, but it looks like it.
Looks like it. But yeah, they had, they definitely, and I think Community Service Aid Brooks, I don't know I think that's the title, right? Community Service Aid Brooks. But yeah, the young people have actually, and Mark and Ed actually had also went around and identified the defacing of some of city property and some of the blighted homes. So that's another reason why some of those homes come down. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's involved. And I think this is very inspirational to these young people. They actually enjoy it, putting on these suits, and they, just feel like they're doing something to clean up their neighborhood. So I just want to say thank you to President Hill and Councilwoman Rawls as well for your support with this. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for mentioning all of the organizations and everyone, because it truly is it's really good to see everyone working together, everyone in our community, everyone in the administration, everyone working together. It's a tall order. It's a tall order, and one person can't do it. There's a lot of moving parts in our city, and cleaning it is important, but there's a whole lot of other things that's going on in that, we are doing the work. We are doing the work, and that makes me happy. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It's exciting. Teamwork makes the dream work. There's no I in team, all the things. Is there any further new business for discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none, the time is 6:57 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you. We stand adjourned.